Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Something unusual has been happening in the BTS fandom lately. A strange silence has settled across ARMY's digital spaces, not because BTS's music has stopped speaking, nor because the members have vanished, but because some fans have started turning against each other. Ironically, this storm didn't come from outside, it came from within. The attacks on Park Jimin, one of the kindest, most genuine souls in the group, have come from people who supposedly love the same thing, BTS. And behind it all lies one constant, controversial reason: his closeness with Jungkook. Is their relationship just fan service? Or is it something far more real, something some people aren't ready to believe? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden side of the world's biggest fandom, a side rarely discussed, filled with bias, manipulation, and truths that many try to bury. This isn't just a story about two idols. It's about how love, reality, and illusion collide in a world built from screens and pixels. To most ARMYs, their bond represents the genuine warmth of two friends who grew up together since their teenage years. But to a small group, especially the Taekook shippers, that same closeness has become a threat to the fantasy they've long created. This silent war was never officially declared, yet everyone knows it exists. Every time Jimin and Jungkook share a smile, the fandom seems to split in two. One side sees honesty, the other dismisses it as fan service. The irony deepens when Taeyoung shows similar gestures. Suddenly, it's called brotherhood, something pure, as if only one kind of affection is allowed to be considered genuine. This phenomenon reveals how modern fandoms are no longer just spaces of admiration but battlegrounds of narratives. Every photo, video, and live moment is reinterpreted, edited, and twisted to fit personal beliefs. And in the middle of it all, Jimin becomes the most frequent victim, not because he's done anything wrong, but because he dares to be himself. He doesn't act to fulfill anyone's expectations. He smiles because he wants to, not because he has to. Yet, that simple honesty is often met with suspicion. Whenever videos of Jimin and Jungkook interacting appear on social media, cynical comments follow. It's just acting. Fan service. A promotion tactic. But anyone who's followed them from the beginning knows that the expressions on their faces aren't scripted. They've shared struggles, grown under global pressure, and learned to survive by supporting each other. What you see on screen isn't a performance, it's a glimpse of a reality many refuse to acknowledge. There was something magical, almost unspeakable, in the way Jungkook looked at Jimin that day at the airport. Thousands of cameras crowded the scene, fans screamed behind barricades, and flashes lit the air like lightning. Yet amid all the chaos, time seemed to stop for one brief moment. Jungkook, unbothered by the world, focused entirely on one person, Jimin. That wasn't just an ordinary moment for BTS fans. It was a fragment of something much larger, a bond that has long captivated, divided, and shaken the global fandom community. It marked the point where illusion, rumor, and reality began to collide, and not everyone was ready for it. In the now viral footage, Jungkook can be seen rushing through the crowd, ignoring cameras, staff, and fans calling his name. His focus was singular, making sure Jimin was right behind him. When their eyes finally met, the entire space seemed to shrink, leaving only two people who understood the silent language between them. To some, it might have been nothing more than a simple moment between two bandmates. But to those who have followed their journey for years, it was no coincidence. There was a warmth in Jungkook's gaze too sincere to be professional, and Jimin's small, instinctive smile spoke of a comfort born only from genuine closeness. Soon after, social media erupted again. A fan who was at the airport shared a clip of Jungkook running hurriedly, not stopping to greet anyone, not turning to the waiting staff. Rumors spread quickly. Jimin was waiting for him at home. Was it coincidence? Or was it part of a routine they've always kept private? No one knows for sure. But this pattern wasn't new. Many ARMYs have noticed how Jungkook often rushes home whenever Jimin is in Seoul. Even with their separate schedules, it seems they always find time to meet. Something unspoken yet deeply felt. Not everyone can accept this reality. On the other side, Taekook shippers, fans who believe in a special bond between V, Taeyoung, and Jungkook grew increasingly uneasy. For them, every sign of Jimin and Jungkook's closeness feels like a threat to the narrative they've built. They refuse to see, to believe, or to reconcile with the evidence appearing right before their eyes. When there's no reason that fits, they create one, said a senior ARMY in a viral X Twitter thread. When there's no proof, they fabricate it. They edit videos, manipulate photos, even use AI to produce fake scenes, all with one goal: to distort reality and discredit Jimin and Jungkook's connection. This isn't merely a fandom rivalry anymore. It's become a narrative war between what people want to believe and what's actually happening. In the age of artificial intelligence, manipulation is easier and more dangerous than ever. Within hours, anyone can produce hyper-realistic clips, smiles that never happened, gazes reassembled, conversations entirely fabricated. Taekook shippers, desperate to sustain their illusion, have used this technology recklessly, editing genuine Jikook moments to make them seem fake, while fabricating intimate scenes between V and Jungkook that never existed. But rational fans see through it. If Jimin and Jungkook's bond isn't real, why work so hard to hide it? Asked one Weverse user in a viral discussion. That question echoed across digital spaces, inviting deeper reflection on how the internet creates nearly perfect illusions, and how genuine affection can still shine through even the most elaborate manipulations. Interestingly, neither Jimin nor Jungkook has ever tried to hide their closeness. In countless moments, they care for each other in quiet, genuine ways. Jimin checking on Jungkook's health, Jungkook looking at Jimin with the kind of gaze only someone who truly cares can give. Their connection feels natural, not performative. Even in their solo projects, a subtle thread ties them together. From Jimin's words about the person who keeps him strong, to Jungkook's mention of someone who makes him want to come home. They never need to declare anything. The world sees it for itself. The anger from parts of the fandom toward their relationship reflects something deeper: fear. Fear that two public figures they admire might share an emotional closeness that defies their expectations. For years, the Korean entertainment industry has treaded carefully around same-sex intimacy. So when two BTS members show such unfiltered affection, it unsettles some, not out of hatred, but out of fear of a narrative that feels too unfamiliar, too honest. And yet, that's where their true power lies. Without saying much, Jimin and Jungkook show a kind of affection that transcends labels and cultural limits. They remind the world that human connection doesn't always need to be explained, only felt. The refusal of some fans to accept that truth reveals more than rivalry. It shows a collective denial that real relationships can exist outside the boundaries we try to define. You don't have to reject reality just because it doesn't fit the fantasy you've built. When all the comments, edits, and rumors finally fade, one simple truth remains. Jimin and Jungkook continue being themselves. They don't try to prove anything. They don't fight back. They just keep walking side by side, exchanging glances filled with meanings that even cameras can't fully capture. And maybe that's where their real strength lies. In a world obsessed with creating narratives, they choose silence. Because sometimes, honesty doesn't need defense. It simply exists, visible to those willing to see. So before we end this video, ask yourself one question. Are we really seeing what's there, or only what we want to believe? Thank you for watching Jikook Moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next story. See you in the next video, where we'll once again explore the stories, emotions, and quiet magic behind every glance between Jimin and Jungkook.